name is Jared, and this is the Unseen Realm channel. And today we have a special guest, Hector, on to talk with us about the Cecil Hotel, about the Night Stalker, and about is it Alicia Lamb? I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but she's part of the story. And we are going to pull up some links. We have an autopsy report. We have other links and videos as well. We're going to show you guys, and we want this to just be fun and kind of talk back and forth. So we will have the live chat up. If you have any comments or questions, maybe you know something that we don't, or you see it from a perspective that we don't, we encourage you to talk with us. So don't be afraid. If you have any questions for me specifically or for Hector, just say in the live chat. And if you are watching this after the live, you can also ask questions in the comments, and we will come back and respond to you guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you would like this video, comment on it, share it with your friends and family. It will help us get seen more. And let me bring Hector on. All right, go ahead.
Hey, Matt. Okay, so real quick, when your screen was what? Is there like any kind of draft in that room?
In what room?
In your room.
And
Like
my wife opened the door. She came in at
okay. I was gonna say like that the backdrop moved as soon as you said Cecil Hotel, and I was like, man,
I should have said no, right? Yeah, she opened the door. That's why I jumped and looked that way. that would definitely been interesting, though.
Yeah, because it was like the way it happened. Like you look, and when you turned back, that's when it moved. And I was like, man, I gotta ask him, is there like a draft or wind blowing? Because that was crazy. But yeah, my name is Hector. Most people know me by Demise Gone from my YouTube channel, Snapchat, Demise Gone, anywhere you look it up, that's me. But yeah,
I will show y'all guys that. I didn't think to get that link to your YouTube channel. However, guys, he is an author as well, and I do have the link to his book, which I'm going to let him talk about for a second before we get into it, and I will show you guys the book as well. So if you want to talk about it for a second, I will show them that, and if y'all look in the description, you can find the link for it.
All right, so I have right here my first book, actually, The 100 Tales for Gabriel. On the back is a picture of me and my beautiful fiance. But I wrote that book because growing up, I used to love bedtime stories. And when we found out we were going to have a child, I wanted to have something that I could read to them, but more importantly, something that I made together, or I put together. So it's just a book with 100 original bedtime stories and nursery rhymes that I came up with. And that's just it. I'm actually working on 3 more books right now. 2 of them are almost done, but that one, my 4th book that I just recently started, I have, what is it? It's another 100 bedtime stories, but this one will actually have pictures in it. So that should be done by May, and I got the other 2 that should be done within the next couple of months. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's cool. Here, let me show you guys what he's talking about real quick, and then we'll get right into it. Yeah. There we go. Can you see that, Hector?
Yep.
And guys, the link, like I said, is in the description for his book to that. And for his YouTube, what I will do, I will come back later and put in his YouTube channel afterwards since I forgot to get the link before. But so after this video is over, I will have that added to the description, not the description, in the comments. Hello, Sharon. Thank you for commenting. If you have any comments, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I just got a message from my little sister. She said her and my mom are watching from their TV. So, hey, mom.
And Sharon is my mother.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
She's always helping support me on here, trying to help me get it boosted and commenting on it for me.
That's awesome. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this video, and we'll get into it. Yeah, let's just pull up that one first. Perfect. This one will set the story first, guys. And again, if y'all have if you know anything about this, maybe you know something that we don't be afraid. Let us know. Let us know your opinion. If you have any questions specifically for Hector or me, just ask in the live chat. Oh, I hate this setup. I've got to get my old setup back.
Oh yeah, with the Streamlab.
Yeah, it's a little bit. This is a new streaming service, guys. That's why it's a little bit different for me. So sorry about that. 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. There it is.
What do you think people imagine when they picture the manager of the Cecil Hotel?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of them were thinking there's some crazy, creepy person behind the scenes that just doesn't care and is running this hotel where all these bad things happen, and it's not true. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the interview, because I want the world to see that who was actually really running, really cared about the hotel and was running it properly, you know? But I would say there are a lot of like unique challenges when you are running a hotel like the Cecil. A lot came with the place. It wasn't even first couple days in the job where the maintenance manager said that we had a problem. And I said, what do you mean? One of the guests died at the hotel. It's hard to process. It's hard to process. Before working at the hotel, I mean, I'd never had any experience with a dead body or a coroner, you know, or even the police. That was like a real eye-opener for me. Come to find out, well, yeah, this happens all the time. The maintenance manager, he walked me through the entire hotel. Along the way, you know, he would just point and say, someone died here, someone died there. Suicides, overdoses, murders. At one point, I think I just asked him, is there a room here that like maybe somebody hasn't died in? I never got used to that. Never got used to that.
Wow, that's crazy. That many people die in that hotel. Go ahead.
And the crazy, like, I didn't mean to cut you off, but one of the things that I guess in all my years of like researching and like just looking into the hotel, I never thought about that aspect. Like the people in charge of running it, that has to take like a serious mental toll. Like you're working at some place, and obviously people were like, well, something corrupt's got to be going on. And it's like, no, it's just a regular person running it. And it just happens to fall under the aspect of this is what's happening in that building. It's not necessarily like management is incompetent or anything. It's just.
I sure wouldn't want to be a cleaning lady there. A cleaning lady.
Man.
I don't want to be a cleaning lady, right? Yeah,
like,
have to clean up, be the janitor around there. Have to fix everything constantly.
A good day at work is a good day at work. A good day at work is like when you don't have a body in your room.
Right. That's crazy. It is wild. I'm gonna pull up another video for you guys real quick that we have. Oh, no, yeah, let's go with that one. Here, let me pull this up real quick. Have you actually been to the hotel, Hector? Have you ever been out there?
One time I took a trip out there. Wasn't originally to go to the hotel, but it had to be a stop because I had been looking at like the hotel and specifically the Elisa Lam case, like since I was way young. I think I started looking into it like maybe 2015. Yeah. So we're going on like 10 years, and
that's about the time I heard it.
Because I think
about 2016, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because her like she died in 2013.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't like big. I guess it was big news, but it just wasn't something that was like on my radar. But when I found out about it, I was like, oh yeah. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah. It's gonna get, and we're gonna get more into that, guys, as we go. Well, you'll see more what we're talking about. Let me share this one, and then we'll get on to the. We actually have the autopsy and some other links as well. Let me play this video real quick.
It's this documentary series, Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, has true crime fanatics talking all about the infamous Cecil Hotel of downtown Los Angeles, California. The hotel's infamy reached new heights in 2013 when a Canadian college student and hotel guest named Elisa Lam was found drowned in a closed water tank on the Cecil's roof after going missing 3 weeks earlier. However, the Cecil Hotel had...
I will say that is one of the biggest questions I have of this whole thing is how in the hell did she close that water tank when there was what, a 6 foot in between, if that, maybe like a 4 or 5 foot between the water and the lid was actually on the outside of the tank. She would have had to have come up out of the water, hover over the water, reach up and out and close it.
Like the whole thing is insane because you also gotta, like, from the pictures you could see like she was a skinny girl, like not really muscular. The lid to that is so heavy. There's no way you're gonna hold on to the ladder, lift that high enough for you to put yourself in there and close it behind you. Like it's insane.
Yeah, it's. I think I saw a YouTube video of a guy trying to prove how it could be done, but he couldn't do it. If I remember correctly, I don't want to say that.
I think I seen the same one. That dude was like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, like, and he couldn't do it himself. There would have been no way she could have done that. But I mean, maybe there was. Maybe they didn't find any kind of stick in there, right? They didn't find any kind of rope or anything for her to pull down on it. I mean, you had to have really wanted to kill yourself.
Like she wasn't even like, I think she was down to like her underwear. She was naked.
That's right. She was naked, which could have been as you look into it, some of the meds she was taking could have affected her and making her take her clothes off. No, that's just, again, guys, before I go any further, real quick, we are just stating our opinions on this. We're not professionals in any of this, or unless you are that I don't know of. Nah. This is simply our opinions on a story that a lot of people know about, and that's it, YouTube. It's our opinions. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna finish playing that video, and then I think there's some questions. It's not questions, it's statements. Sharon said, I saw a story about that on TV, maybe Netflix. Yeah, that's where there is a Netflix documentary. That's one of the what I was just playing a second ago. Let me go back and finish this video real quick, and then we'll get into it. And again, if y'all have any questions, just ask. Thank you, Vandy Street, for commenting.
Oh yeah,
y'all's comments help a lot. It really does, and just following us helps us a lot.
Have been associated with crime and death for decades. The hotel's location near Los Angeles' Skid Row makes it a criminal hotspot, but its problems go back nearly a century. The Cecil's first on-site death was in 1931 when a guest killed himself. Since then, over a dozen deaths, including suicides, overdoses, and murders, have been documented at the Cecil Hotel. And the real count of deaths at the Cecil Hotel could be even higher.
So the death started in 1931.
And that was the very first suicide where the guest had taken poison capsules in his room.
Wow, I didn't know that. See, there's so much, there's so many more deaths that I even knew about. I think there was like 3 or 4 of them that I told you about the Mexican rock star. I knew about him, but he's not dead.
Mhm.
He's not dead. I knew about his story, unless he's dead now. We'll get into that later. But that's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought that it was just a couple deaths. I didn't know there was that many.
We're looking at like close to 80.
80?
Documentary. A former manager said that there must have been at least 80 deaths
there it
in the
is.
hotel
Yeah,
during the
look
10
at
years
that.
that she worked there.
Just never knew what was going to happen.
And that's just during the 10 years that she was working
It's
there.
negative.
Go ahead. That's during the
80
okay.
That's just in a
the new
10-year
manager?
span. Uh-huh.
And they're all considered suicides.
No. Those are different. Overdoses, suicides, murders, 80 in her 10-year span.
My goodness.
Now, you
How
gotta
do you
remember.
live with yourself? I don't know if I can live. I know it's not my fault, but my goodness, could you imagine? Hey, Red October, thank you for commenting. Could you imagine having a job that 80 people died? I mean, in these circumstances, also on top of that, I mean, that's a lot to deal with as a person. I thought I dealt with a lot. This makes me feel like my life hasn't been as bad as I thought it was.
Now, here's one thing we also got to take into account. That's 80 deaths in her 10-year span. The hotel was built in 1924, and its very first death recorded was 1931, which was the guest W.K. Norton who took the poison capsule in his room.
Right.
And so you got from 1931 to 2020, where they switched it up. It's not a hotel anymore. Now it's like some residences or whatever. But you got about a 70-year period of people dying in this building. So you got the 80 from her tenure of working there, and you just got to imagine that number is easily well into the hundreds, if not thousands.
Yeah, I bet. Sharon asked, "Who is Cecil?" So the name of the hotel.
I don't think it's named after an actual person, because I tried looking that up. I know it's not named after a street because it wasn't on like a Cecil Street.
Was it one of the elites back in the day? Maybe
Because it was built like 1920, 24, I want to say.
Right.
Yeah, 1924.
Well, we'll try and find that for you, Sharon. Before we get off here today, I'll try. We'll try and figure that out. If we can't, I'll call you later. Me and you will try and figure that out, Sharon. All right, I'm gonna finish playing the video real quick.
Yeah.
Well, I say that we may again. We're going to stop a lot and give our opinions. That is the goal here. That's why we're doing this. We want to this story to reach more people. We are interested in the paranormal side of it and the things that are unknown. That's a big part of this channel and what I'm doing with this channel. A lot of you follow my political channel, but this one is for everything from faith-based to Bible, supernatural, UFO, Bigfoot, whatever you can think of, conspiracies, that's all on this channel.
Negative reputation has even inspired storylines in movies and television shows, including American Horror Story and Barton Fink. When the hotel became a single-room occupancy residence, things got even creepier. One of the Cecil regulars in the mid-1980s was none other than Richard Ramirez, the serial killer known as the Night Stalker. Richard Ramirez probably lived at the Cecil Hotel in 1985, near the end of his year terrorizing Los Angeles, during which he killed at least 14 people. Los Angeles historians Kim Cooper and Richard Chave said that Ramirez would return to the alley behind the hotel in the middle of the night and strip off his blood-covered clothing. The killer would then walk up to his room in nothing but his underwear, covered in blood. Even though people saw him, the Cecil was the kind of place where this behavior didn't raise too many eyebrows. Ramirez was arrested in 1985, convicted.
I find that odd. I mean, the Cecil was the kind of place where this did not raise too many eyebrows. Should there even be places like that? I mean, really? We have places that people know so much evil or bad things are going on that they just ignore it.
And that's another thing too. Like, The Cecil Hotel was actually Red October just put it in there. It was an affordable, like it was supposed to be like a cheap hotel. That's why it was also in the red light district, which you already know if you're in the red light district and you get a hotel, you know what's going on. But it was supposed to be affordable, like to the point where now they even changed. It's not even named the Cecil Hotel anymore. But I told you it's kind of like cheap housing, cheap apartments.
Right.
Um,
I'm
they had
surprised anybody even lives there now.
Yeah, they had started doing renovations back in 2017, I believe, but had to stop because of COVID.
Yeah. Oh, this is wild. So there's a lot more to this story than I realized. What about you guys watching? Have you
Yep,
heard
Red
of this
October
story
got it.
before?
Red October put it. It's called the Stay on Main now, which makes more sense because the street is Main Street.
Oh, okay. Which is when me and my wife were trying to come up with the name for her craft business. That was the whole reason we came up with Vandy Street instead of calling the store Main Street. Vandy Street. Our last name is Vandiver, so people have a hard time pronouncing it. So everybody called us Vandy growing up. That's
Oh,
I just found that interesting. That's how we ended up coming up with the name Vandy Street because we were thinking of naming it Main Street.
gotcha.
Let's finish this real quick.
Of over a dozen murders and died in prison in 2013. Of course, the question on the mind of true crime fanatics is this: can you stay in the same room that the Night Stalker called home? Well, in 2016, Simon Barron Development purchased the hotel and planned a massive renovation. President of Simon Barron Development, Matthew Barron, said, "We are gutting the entire building. We are going to redevelop it from the doorway to the roof and everything in between." This seems to indicate that none of the rooms will remain as is. The hotel was scheduled to reopen with its new renovations in late 2021, but the COVID-19 pandemic may have pushed that timetable back. After getting to know the hotel's unsavory reputation, it isn't surprising to learn that Richard Ramirez wasn't even the only serial killer to have stayed there. The Cecil was also the home base of an Austrian journalist named Jack Unterweger in 1991. Unterweger claimed to have been working on a story about the red light districts in Los Angeles, so it made sense that he'd be staying in Skid Row. He made friends with the police officers and sex workers in the area, and even went on ride-alongs and was known to have women visit his room in the hotel, all under the guise of the story he was writing. What people didn't know, however, was that Unterweger was convicted of brutal killings in Austria before coming to the United States. He had been sentenced to life in prison in 1974, but was paroled after serving a decade and a half of his sentence. Upon release in 1990, the area where he lived began to see a spike in kidnappings and murders of local women. The police naturally suspected Unterweger, and he fled to California. Not long after, Los Angeles began to see a spike in murders.
So that is the one we were just before we came on. Me and him were talking. That's the man you were talking about that actually came to copy Night Stalker.
Yeah,
Tell
he
us
came
more
to
about that.
So he had came at, like, as we saw, like he's already committed crimes in Austria, but when he moved out here, nobody thought to go check his history back in Austria. But when they finally did, that's when they started noticing his pattern. When it got too hot for him where he was at, he left to Los Angeles, but he came out here and went directly to the Cecil because that's where Richard Ramirez was doing his killings before he got caught. And I think while he was at the Cecil, he had strangled three prostitutes before they caught on to him. Now, Richard Ramirez, it said that in his total span, he killed about, I think he got charged for 19 murders, but the number is higher. And about, I think they said from 9 to 16 was while he was staying at the Cecil. So he has between 9 and 16 murders that he did while he was at the Cecil, but his overall number that he was charged with was 19.
That's wild.
And
that
then
is wild.
I know we're going to get into a little later, like more about Richard Ramirez, but
Right. I'm gonna go. He sent me he found a video of. Is it Alicia or Alicia?
Elisa Lamb.
Elisa Lamb. The actual footage of her in the elevator and what was going on. And I don't think there's any sound on this, so we can just kind of talk. If y'all have anything you want to say about this and how strange it is and what your opinion is. Again, we're just speculating on what's actually going on here. Let me pull that up. Let me make sure you guys can see that. All right. Again, I don't think there's any sound here.
No, this is the only video I found that didn't have like somebody else talking over it.
All right, let me play that. So right away, you could see her pressing what, 4 or 5 buttons.
Yeah, like it. And I love that you pointed out on that, because look at, okay, elevators. When you step in, you press a button. What happens?
The door closes.
The whole time she's waiting, the door didn't close until after she walked away.
Let's go back and watch this some more then. Hold on one second.
She's in the elevator. She comes out. And while she was standing outside, because there's a sensor in those doors.
Right. It would open and then shut. It would close and open. Close and open if you get in front of it.
There's a ridiculous amount of, like, this time right here has to be like at least 10, 15 seconds where she doesn't trip that sensor. Why didn't the doors close?
That is a good question.
She goes outside the elevator and starts talking to nobody. There's nobody standing there. The doors didn't close.
Yeah. Not even trying to close.
Mm-mm.
So
And
do you know if anybody has proven if one of these buttons she pushed is a door hold? And it doesn't look like it is, because the door hold button would be more over here or over here.
Mm-hmm. And then the door hold, it would also, what's that thing called? Like, because they have footage where it actually had sound. When you pull that, it rings the alarm.
Right.
And there was no alarm ever rang.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
nothing. She just pressed floor buttons, because I think it's 14 floors to the elevator. She was just pressing, and then after she leaves, that the door finally closes, we see the footage of the elevator going to all those floors that she hit. So as it goes, because you can still kind of see the lights on.
Yeah, I can see it.
As it goes, those buttons like start the lights going off. So those are all floors that she pressed, and the elevator just never moved the whole time she was there until she left.
And nobody's proven as to why that door has done that yet.
Mm-mm.
You know of?
There's no explanation behind it, to the point where after this footage came out, after she was found dead and everything, they even had elevator maintenance workers come check it. They found nothing wrong with the elevator.
Check this. All right, let's play a little bit more. Let's watch her. Just watch her movements. Everything about her mannerisms, the way she's acting and reacting. And I can say I don't think it's drug induced. It looks somewhat drug induced, but not completely. Maybe some of the meds she's taking is making her act or react to things. I don't know that personally, but I guess it's possible, but not like this.
Yeah, to this extent is just.
And again, the elevator's door didn't do anything. She was standing out there the whole damn time. Unless she was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, let me ask you this. Is it
now
did
panic,
she button out?
Huh?
Is there a button on the outside of the elevator she could have been holding to hold the door open?
I don't think so, because she stands on both sides, and watch as the video goes further, she even moves away from this side of our wall. Like she's more closer to the middle of the hallway, and it still doesn't move. Right. But now you can see panic set in. She's starting to press more buttons for more floors, and still
trying
nothing.
To get it to go. Yeah, that's what. That is so wild. Now you think it could confuse the system. I could see that, but the doors would still close eventually.
Especially since it looks like she pressed every single button, and elevators have a door close button.
Yeah. Look at her hands. Look at that.
It looked like she's explaining something to somebody, because she's not even looking in the direction of the elevator no more. She's looking down the hall.
Yeah. That is wild. The doors still haven't closed.
And she's
Look
she's
at
gonna
that.
walk further. She's gonna walk further towards that wall. And you can see both of her hands in front of her, so she's not pressing like the door button behind her on the wall.
Right.
The elevator just don't move. Look, she moves away, so now she's in the middle of the hall. She's definitely not pressing no buttons.
Is there any footage in the hallway?
That's one of the things is like, because they even said the last footage they have of her was in the hotel lobby of her leaving the hotel, but nobody has ever seen that footage. They say they have it, you just can't find it.
Look how long she's been gone away from the door and it still hasn't closed.
It's only until she like.
What do you guys think that is? Anybody watching? Have y'all ever seen that happen on an elevator before? I'm just curious. I'm curious as to if there's something, a logical reason for that to be happening that maybe we don't know about. Maybe you do. If you do, let us know in the live chat or the comments after. Here, I'll go back. I want to finish that. That's what I mean. She was away from that for a long time. She's still out. There it goes.
Look, now it finally closes and it starts hitting all those floors.
That's how long into this video? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. That door didn't close.
And then watch. So you saw we got that 3 minute time span where the door wouldn't close. As it's hitting all of these floors,
the door opens every time.
Opens and closes back immediately. Look, watch. It opens up. Nobody gets on. Nobody gets off. It closes back. No. And then it hits the next floor. Compared to like that whole time she was up there and it would not close at all.
That's definitely weird. That's
like,
yeah, that's definitely strange. And it does make you wonder why are these serial killers are attracted to this place. I mean, is there really some? I myself, I believe in the evil spirits and Raphium, the fallen giants. I do. I truly believe that there's a lot of evil out there. But I've been on a lot of elevators that the doors almost shut on me, much less not shut for 3 minutes. That is strange.
Like it's insane. Now it's so, and I had looked this up earlier because I had completely forgotten how the Ghost Adventures crew went to the Cecil Hotel, and they're big on like spiritual vortexes and stuff like that, and knowing how like evil can reside in places. Right. But I also looked into like spiritual ley lines. I don't know if you've heard about those.
Oh yeah.
And the Cecil Hotel, the ley line that goes across it crosses through, I think, 3, if not 4, of the bloodiest battles ever taken place in America. And one of them actually goes straight through Alcatraz, which is supposed to be the most haunted prison in the world. And it's just like you got all 4 of those that
it's not even open anymore, is it? Alcatraz?
No, Alcatraz isn't.
It's like a hotel now.
But it's like it's so insane. And then you got Richard Ramirez, who was a known Satan worshiper. He wound up going there committing murders. And then when he finally got caught while he was in prison, made the statement, "When I die, I'm going back to the Cecil Hotel."
Right. And we did try to find that video, guys. We couldn't find that video, but if I can later, I will link it back in the comments if we can find more on that.
Yeah, because I tried to find, because he said it in the courtroom and it was recorded, but I just couldn't find it either.
I'll tell you, we'll pull up. I've got a link that shows 9 chilling facts about it. Let's pull that up. See, maybe it's in there.
Gotcha.
Oh, before that, let me go back and tell you guys. I forget to do this sometimes. So that last YouTube video we were watching is Grunge on that's their channel, YouTube, and it's "Can You Stay in the Night Stalker's Room at the Cecil Hotel?" I want to make sure to give other creators their
credit.
Credit. There you go. Sometimes my words. Thank you. I love having
I get the same thing.
My brain will just disappear sometimes.
That happens to me on my days off, where like I'll be talking with my best friend or my fiance, and I just can't get the words. I was like, I can't English today. It's my day off. I don't got to work that hard.
All right, let's pull up. We got 9 chilling facts. Let me make sure y'all can see that good. Let's see. Before we get into this, let's see if there's any questions or comments.
Sharon.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say she wanted to stop that video where it was at. She said, "Where is a minute?"
Where exactly, Sharon?
I think it was because Red October said if you could video enhance, you could see what buttons she pressed. But we already know she pushed floor buttons because they started turning off as it was stopping at all those floors.
Right. Yeah, because it did. He's right. So after she got off and it finally closed, it did start going through the floors. So she didn't press any emergency button or anything like that because that would have held the elevator altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It wouldn't have started going anywhere.
Okay, cool. All right, let's go check this out. And if anybody else has any questions, please.
Oh,
go ahead.
Another thing, it just hit me when you said she was pressing the buttons. Remember, the elevator thing is a pull motion. You got to pull it out. But we saw her pushing everything in.
For the emergency, right.
Mm-hmm. That would stop the elevator from moving. You got to pull it out.
Yeah, and it's a little red thing, right? Should be. I don't know about how it is in California, but in Texas, in the elevators, there are red buttons that you pull out.
Yeah, I've been in elevators in Louisiana, Chicago, Connecticut, and New York, and they're all the same. You gotta pull out that red one.
Right. All right. So this is BusinessInsider.com. 9 chilling facts about the Cecil Hotel, an infamous Los Angeles landmark that inspired Netflix's newest show. All right. Well, let's just go down and find the 9. Oh, I got it split out. All right. So Elizabeth Short was murdered in 1947, also known as the Black Dahlia. I didn't know that. Did you know that, Sharon? She was part of this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. What about you, Sharon? Let us know. All right, let me go back to the link. I didn't know that. All right, it says the 22-year-old's body was found in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles several days after she went missing. Because of the graphic nature of the crime, Short's corpse was bisected at the waist and severely mutilated, with cuts carved into both sides of her mouth up to her ears. My goodness.
They gave her a Joker smile.
That's right. Okay. Now, I didn't know that she was connected to the Cecil Hotel, though. After Short's death, numerous reports claiming the inspiring actress had been seen before the murder. That is wild. And numerous people have died by suicide at the Cecil. Yep. It says in 1934, an Army sergeant this is another one. 1934, Army sergeant died by suicide with a straight razor. In 1937, a member of the Marine Corps leapt from the top of the building.
Now, they had, for several years, they had people that were jumping from their windows or the roof. And that's when they began to bar the windows to the point where you couldn't even get to the fire escape because people were just committing suicide by just jumping. And the emergency door that led to the roof had an alarm installed and everything. And you just couldn't get up there without everybody in the building knowing you were up there.
Right.
Which makes no sense. How did she get onto the roof without any of these accessible spots without letting nobody know?
And none of the alarms went off either. That's right.
Nope.
I didn't. Man. So the next one says Helen Gurney, 50, died by suicide in that manner in 1954, followed by 50-year-old actress Julia Moore and 27-year-old Pauline Otten in 1962. Otten's suicide caused the death of a 65-year-old bystander, George Gianni, who was walking underneath. Oh my goodness.
She jumped and fell right on top of him.
Oh my!
So that was the first case of murder suicide where it wasn't intentional.
That is wild.
But it's insane because you're just going out for a stroll. You never expect.
What are the odds? What are the odds that some body lands on you when you're? Wow, unbelievable! A teenage mom murdered her baby there after an unexpected birth. Well, how does a teenage mom murdered her baby after an unexpected birth. Well, she had to
I
have
think
known
it's because she knew she was pregnant, but I don't think she was expecting it to happen right then and there, and then the age too of like who
Oh,
the
here
father was.
it says it right here. She thought it
Does it
was
say?
yeah, it says she didn't know she was reportedly didn't know she was pregnant and thinking her newborn hadn't even survived the birth, threw him out the hotel window. Oh my god. And she was I bet she was arrested.
Oh yeah.
Admitted to a hospital for psychiatric treatment. Wow. So she must have had a lot of other mental illnesses going on. To not
Yeah.
even realize she's pregnant, to think she gave birth to a dead baby and then toss it out a window. Oh my goodness. And the next one is an eccentric local woman was found sexually assaulted and murdered at the hotel in 64. The murder
That's
of Pigeon
Pigeon.
Goldie.
Yeah. So I had a little more on her case too. Where did I have it written? She was a retired telephone operator. She what made this one stand out to me was she had been well known and well liked and was a long-term resident of the hotel when they found her dead in her room. She had been raped, stabbed, beaten, and her room was ransacked. Jackie B. Islander was charged with her murder because he was seen covered in blood walking the streets close to the hotel, but he was cleared as a suspect. So it's like you find this man foot like covered in blood. A woman has just been killed, like her room. That right there raised questions too, because you know this woman, everybody at the hotel likes her. She stays there often. How did somebody get access to her room then? You would think if it's like your VIP, you're gonna make sure they're good.
Couldn't they have tested the blood
That
to make sure it was hers? I mean, what year was that? I wonder
1964.
I guess were we able to do that then? Would they be able to match blood back then? I don't know. I'm not. I honestly don't know. That's wild.
Yeah,
we'll go back and scroll down. I think it's fixing to get to the Richard part. But go ahead. You can keep talking. Go ahead.
Oh no, that was that like that. That's what stood out to me because like this woman was murdered. All this stuff happened to her. You find a dude covered in blood, and he's like, nope, it's not him.
And it still says her case is unsolved. All right. So here's the Richard Ramirez. This is his photo in 1985 of him in court.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Ramirez famously stayed at the hotel during the height of his killing spree. That's what's important to me. Not just that he's a serial killer, but the fact that
he did the majority of them
while he was staying there. Yes, that is. It definitely brings up a lot of questions. Over the span of several months in 1984 through 1985, Ramirez sexually assaulted and murdered dozens of people, eventually earning the moniker the Night Stalker. As his late night crimes terrorized much of Los Angeles. Before his capture and arrest in 1985, Ramirez was staying in a room on the top floor of the Cecil for $14 a night. The top floor. That's even more important to Alicia's story.
Mm-hmm.
After killing a victim, he reportedly returned to the hotel, tossed his bloody clothing into the dumpster behind the hotel, and made his way to his room naked.
Yep.
Given this,
and people saw him.
Oh wow! Given the Cecil's colorful array of guests and residents, Ramirez's bizarre behavior largely went unnoticed. How in the hell does that go unnoticed? And we always today, I mean, even today, when there's like a mass shooting or a mass killing or a serial killing, every single time there's somebody who knew this person that was trying to tell other people that there's obviously something wrong with this person, or the cops knew, or the feds knew, or the medical, they knew. They knew that something was not right. But they always want to put it off on the object of somebody instead of going, I knew all along that this guy had mental issues. We just didn't do anything about it. He was walking around butt naked in hotels with bloody clothes and throwing them on. I mean, who cares though, right? I mean,
I mean,
unbelievable.
just look at the person that could have murdered Pigeon Goldie. They caught him clothes full of blood and let him go. They're like, oh no, he didn't do it. I was like, what? Like sometimes I feel like in cases like that, common sense just goes out the window.
Right.
This
It's
is
crazy. And then you have much smaller cases where facts are obvious and the people can't see it. But this is the same thing. If the facts are right in your face, it's so strange. It's almost like there is a veil that is the unseen, that is hiding it, that is allowing it to stay hidden. I guess I would say that.
And I feel like that veil is the hotel itself.
Right.
Because there's just so much bizarre stuff that happens that they're just like, oh, it's fine. It happens on a regular basis. Like in the video we saw earlier, I feel like people that have worked there long enough start to get numb to this stuff, and what is that word? Desensitized. Where like she said the maintenance manager was telling her, well, somebody died here, somebody died there, and it was easier just to find the rooms that somebody didn't die in. Like now we're talking about a hotel. It was, what was it? 301 suites, 700 rooms. And it's easier out of 700 rooms, it's easier to find something where someone didn't die. That's insane.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't just torn the place down and just made it some kind of historic mark or something, instead of building more apartments on top of it. I wonder if there's been any recent crimes there. We should look into that, see if there's any recent.
I think because they were still under renovations and that got pushed back with COVID. I don't think anyone lives there now, but the most recent time that there were people there, and this is something they actually had gotten like some bad press, because at first painted on the wall was it said they had weekly rates, and they painted over, like you could still see the letters for like the first 3 letters for weekly. They had painted over and switched it to daily. Yeah. So they had like, I guess, bumped up their prices or just started charging you per day instead of per week, and they got some bad rap about that, but nothing about all the other stuff that's been going on there.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, there's places around here that are daily rates, weekly rates, stuff like that. That seems weird. All right, let's go back to that real quick. And we're at, we may have to end up doing a part 2 of this. We haven't even got to the autopsy stuff yet.
Oh yeah,
so,
Lisa Lambs.
Yeah, well, if you guys are interested in it, we do have the autopsy. You know what? Let me just go ahead and pull that up real quick, and we'll graze over it. That way we don't have to, because we're at 48 minutes.
Yeah, because we were at the end of it pretty much.
Yeah, here, let me go ahead and pull that up. I'll let you go over this. I'll just kind of scroll down and let you go over it, since you know more about this part of it than I do.
All right.
Just tell me when you want me to scroll.
All right, sounds good. Let's see.
Can you see everything?
No. It's still just.
Hold on. There you go. There you go.
Now you let me see, because I know it looks kind of. Where is it? I had it saved on my phone from when I had sent it to you.
Right.
But
it says that this is the autopsy adult form protocol. It says Los Angeles, California, 2/21/2013 at 9:35, and they said it was a drowning, is what they called it. They gave her bipolar disorder. A 21-year-old Asian woman found in the water storage tank on the roof of the hotel. Moderate decomposition, no trauma, so no bruises, no self-defense.
See,
go ahead.
Now, right there, it said that's the part that stuck out to me about the autopsy report, because if you scroll down to page what is it? Circumstances, right there. The body is identified by toe tags and is in the refrigerator. The body weighs 121 pounds, measures 66 inches, and is thin. The skin shows a 1-inch scar on the right knee and a 1/4 round abrasion on the left knee. Wrist scars are absent, so she never tried suicide.
Right.
Well, she didn't try to cut herself. Livor mortis is not appreciated. What else?
Tattoos are
But
not
that
present.
But that's the one, like one of the things that popped up. They were like, there was no bruising or whatever on the body, and it's like, yes, there was.
The head is covered. The head is normocephalic and covered
Yeah.
in brown hair. There's no balding. The hair could be described as straight. Examination of the eyes reveal irides. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe y'all know. That appear to be brown in color.
So like irids is like your iris. So like she had brown colored eyes.
Oh, it's typo. Okay. And or white, so that's good. No pectoral hemorrhages, so she wasn't strangled. So there was no drug overdose. That's what would show for those two for sure.
But you know what's funny though? Like she drowned, which normally would affect the color of the eyes.
Oh, it should.
As you lose oxygen. But it said she had no pectoral hemorrhages. What is it?
Dentures are absent. The neck is unremarkable. Upper and lower teeth are present.
So on the next page, the body was not clothed, and I inspected the clothing. So the clothes was somewhere nearby, just not on her. The clothing consisted of one pair of black shorts, size men's, medium, with the logo on the left or whatever, green shirt, large logo, labeled Alexander Keith's. Where is it? One pair of black underwear and one pair of black polka dot sandals. But like all of her clothes, like the sizes were like extra small.
Yeah.
So she wasn't a big person.
And where it doesn't say where they found their clothes? Were they folded or were they just thrown over there? Because that's important. Were the clothes folded? If I'd like to find that out. I wonder if we can find that out somehow. Because if the clothes were folded, then you would that could be a sign of suicide.
So one red sweatshirt, zipper, front with the hood labeled American Apparel, size extra small, that is wet. So that sweatshirt is the only thing.
It was wet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So somehow it came off of her and out of the tank.
Yeah. All of the items had sand. No, because she could have been sand. She could have been somewhere like a beach or something, which in California is not.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah.
The particulate attached to the fabric and loosely present in the fold of the clothes and on drying mats. Wait a minute. On drying mats. So she had taken her wet clothes off and set it. So her wet clothes that were covered in sand, she'd taken it off and set it somewhere to dry before going back in the water.
Sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So she could have gotten wet at the beach. So that's what we're saying. Because there's no way she could have got in that tank, got out, took her clothes off to dry, and then got back in. Right?
Not by herself.
No way. Yeah, I wish I could have found the video of that guy. I'm going to try to for another time and see if we can find it. And then it says the neck organs are layer-wise dissected and removed. I don't want to read. That's not going to help us. No lesions are present, nor is there any trauma of the gingiva. I'm not good with medical words, guys. Sorry. Lips or oral mucosa demonstrated. There are no edema of the larynx, so that would be strangulation, right? That would be edema if that was like strangled or maybe neck broken.
Yeah, if somebody choked
both
her out.
hyoid bone and larynx are intact, so no neck broken. There's no evidence of gross hemorrhage in the areas. The tissue is further fixed for dissection. The soft tissues are removed from the larynx and show no areas of hemorrhage. The thyroid cartilage, well, if she would have drowned, shouldn't there been more, at least abrasions and stuff that there, isn't this the area they're talking about?
Well, that's the neck. On the next page towards the bottom goes over the respiratory system. And scant secretions are found in the upper respiratory passages, so like what goes into the lungs. The mucosa has brown post-mortem discoloration because remember she was in there for several days.
Yeah.
The lungs are crepitant and there is post-mortem softening. The left lung weighs 250 grams, the right weighs 350. And in the page above, it was saying how they were full of dark brown fluid. One of them had 300 cc's of fluid and the other had 200 cc's. And just like from working in the medical field, cc's are translated into milliliters. So 300 milliliters in one, 200 in the other. It's insane.
So it does. I mean, from what it looks like, it doesn't look like she was beaten. It doesn't look like she was strangled. It doesn't look like a drug overdose. It would be almost impossible. Not almost. It would be impossible for a girl her size to climb in that tank. The water level is what's important there. When I say that, because had the water level been higher, then yes, I could say that she would have. But the water level was what, 3/4 of the way, maybe. I think. And
I think
that would have been my height from the top of the water to the top of the tank just to pull yourself out. And that's not including reaching over the lid that closes like that.
See, now here's the thing. The water level was so low that it only took a couple days for people to notice that there was a drop in the water pressure. They would turn on the faucet and the water
and their water tasted weird. That's how they found
it. It tasted and smelled weird. And it's like, okay, if the water pressure was higher when a person died, unless they're being weighed down, they'll float. So she wouldn't be blocking the passage for the water. The water pressure wouldn't have been affected, but it was. It was affected enough that people were starting to call in, like, yeah,
that's
like
how they found her.
That's they're exactly like, the water's barely coming out, and whatever does come out smells and tastes weird.
That is wild. This is a crazy story. I'm definitely gonna keep looking into it and see if we can find some more on it. We've been on for an hour already, guys. So I really, really appreciate all y'all watching and staying on with us. We will stay on for a few more minutes. If you have any questions you'd like to ask Hector or myself, if you'd like to ask him about his book, you can do that as well, because we do want to try and help him promote what he does as well, and not just talk about what we're doing. But if that's all, guys, we will end it there. There is a little bit of a lag, so I'll stay on for just a minute and see if anybody has any questions or comments. And do you have anything else you would like to say?
No, I'm pretty good.
I think this went well. What do you think?
I think it did too. We definitely could do more stuff.
Oh yeah, we've had people on the whole time, so that's definitely a plus. I guess we'll end it here, guys, since there's no comments or questions. But again, if you watch this after, just because we do this live doesn't mean you can't watch it again. It stays up on Rumble. I will also clip it and post it to all different kinds of social media, all the social media, all different kinds.
Oh, yeah.
Every one of our social media pages to help promote it as well. So there are ways you can come back and still talk with us. And if you comment after and you ask for Hector, I will let him know so he can come and comment back to you guys. Again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow our channel. And if you haven't yet, kindly smash that like button, comment on this video, or share it with your friends and family. The way to help support us the most is to follow our channel. Thank you so much, guys. Y'all have a wonderful day. God bless.